Now, my first thought when I hear wetlands, I think swamp.
In the 80s, Kathy and Jim Kasperick moved down to Celeron along with Kathy's sister Peggy and her husband. They all now live next door to one another in an area of Chautauqua Lake called Burtis Bay at the southernmost end of the lake. They used to sit in the water with their chairs, but now this is a normal sight. Thick tangles of weeds making wading not so enjoyable.
So the seaweed that floats down here gets stuck, it builds up, it starts to decay, to rot, it smells. We're going to end up, the quality of our life is going to change. There's times when the seaweed is sitting there, you can't even open your windows.
And they're worried if this becomes a wetland like the state wants, cleaning up Burtis Bay could become even more difficult.
To our understanding, in Region 9, an Article 24 permit for herbicides has never been granted. And so that is a concern to us, because we do not see the invasive species in this lake being controlled simply by harvesting and cutting. There's going to be some point where some other things are going to need to be done, including herbicides or dredging and so forth.
So why is this happening? Changes were made to the Freshwater Wetlands Act 2 years ago. According to the DEC, quote, the new regulations as proposed substantially enhance and modernize the state's freshwater wetland protections to ensure the long-term health and vitality of these important ecosystems for future generations. Well, State Senator George Borrello doesn't agree with this, saying the state should focus on swamps and bogs. He introduced a bill in the Senate that would reverse this designation for navigable lakes like Chautauqua.
And that would be to exempt freshwater navigable lakes, over 150 acres, from these wetland regulations.
Borrello says he's met with the DEC several times, and he's been told everything will stay status quo. But neighbors tell me they're weary, and they do know in the future they'll have to apply for permits for things like new docks.
My husband has just purchased a new dock that will be put in this summer.
They also worry about other things, like using pesticides on their own property.
It includes putting down something like preen in your garden to control the weeds from growing up. If you want to wash your siding with something that controls mildew, that all falls under pesticides by the EPA. Does that mean that every time we want to do one of these things, we're going to have to go to DEC and pay $100 and get a permit?
It's very troubling. It's not the way we expected to spend our golden years. You know, we thought this was where we would live until we could no longer live here. It would be our decision, not someone else's.